Hey guys, what's up? It's Jimmy here. And first of all, I'd like to apologize for the delay in upload of the vlogs. I came back from Vegas October the 4th, and immediately as soon as touching down, I felt super sick. The guy next to me on the plane was just coughing non-stop, and it took me out for like a good 2 weeks. I just couldn't get out of bed. But I'm all better now, and I'm finally back to my old schedule, releasing one vlog every 1 to 2 weeks or so, and I'm gonna try to commit to that. So again, I apologize for the delay, and let's get into the vlog. Alright, let's get started with a GTO hand breakdown. The game is 5-10. I sit down and get ace queen offsuit in the big blind. Sorry for not peeling my hand here. MP opens to $40, the button calls, and we're gonna start off strong. Let's 3-bet to 200. Only the MP calls and we go to the flop heads up. The flop is ace king 7 rainbow. I c-bet $120 and he immediately does something unexpected. He decides to rip his stack in and put me all in. Now his play here makes zero sense since he's the one with the capped range and not me. I have all the top sets here, while the strongest hand he should have is probably pocket sevens. I guess he could also have ace king if he played it passively. Anyway, it's a clear call for me, so I put the chips in. The turn is the 9 of hearts completing the rainbow, and the river is the 4 of clubs. Villain shows ace 5 of diamonds. Again, not sure what he was trying to achieve. This is just a punt on his end, but I'll take it, and I guess I'll leave a note on this player for later. Alright, let's see what GTO Wizard thinks of the play. Okay, so this is GTO Wizard. If you guys don't know, GTO Wizard is a database of millions of pre-solved spots, and we can actually use this to evaluate our play. If you want a free trial, use the link below, and it will give you a 10% discount off your first subscription. Let's begin. So low jack opens, button calls, and as you can see here, when we have ace queen in the big blind, we should be 3-betting this a majority of the time, and I do just that. So far so good. Next, the low jack calls, button folds, and the flop was ace king 7 rainbow. On this flop configuration, you can see that ace queen should mostly check or bet 33% pot. I decided to go with the 1/3 pot bet, but I will occasionally mix it in with checks too. And this is low jack's range. As you can see here, it is mostly green, which means he should be calling a lot. With a hand like ace 5 of diamonds, he should be calling here 88% of the time. In fact, when I compare the EV of all the decisions, going all in yields the worst EV of them all. In fact, it's negative EV. The main reason for this is due to the equity distribution on this flop. The strongest hand he can have here is slow played aces, like me, but I crush him when we compare our medium strength hands. And that's why when he goes all in, GTO tells me to call it 100% of the time. I hope you guys enjoyed the GTO breakdown. Remember to use my referral code in the description if you want to use GTO Wizard to crush the competition. Now, let's get back to the vlog. Okay, I pick up some small pots for the next hour or so, nothing special. That is until I pick up ace king in the big blind. MP, the same guy I stacked earlier, just busted and rebought. I can now confirm he's an action player. He opens to $30. Hijack calls, and I 3-bet to 150. Both of them end up calling, and we go to a flop 3 ways. The flop comes jack 5-3. 2 clubs and 1 diamond. I don't think it's wise to bluff into a maniac, and it's also multi-way, so I check, and it checks around. The turn is interesting. It's the king of diamonds, giving me top, but it also brings in 2 flush draws. I check once again, and MP decides to bet 2/3 the pot of $300. Hijack folds, and nothing much for me to do besides to just call here, so I do just that. The river isn't great, it's the 8 of clubs. I check with the intention of calling any bet basically because of his bluffy image. He checks back though, we show our hand, he mucks, and we get another pot. We are off to a good start, so let's keep this ball rolling. The table now agrees to start straddling, so the game is now 5-10-20. We soon pick up red jacks in the cutoff, and we open to 50. The straddle calls, and we go heads up to the flop. The flop comes king queen 4, 2 spades and 1 club. The straddle will defend pretty wide here, and the board favors me, so I bet $30 expecting villain to fold a lot here, but he does make the call. The turn is the 10 of hearts, giving me an up and down straight draw. I'm now looking for a 9 or an ace. He checks, and this is actually one of the benefits of betting the flop, and that's to retain the betting lead. This gives me the option of checking back the turn, and I do just that. The river is the 9 of spades, giving me the straight. The straddle checks, and since I checked the turn, it's very likely that I would check back this river with a lot of my middling holdings. So if villain did have a flush, he should bet this river always. The fact that he did check this river makes it certain that I have the best hand. So I decide to go for a bet of $120, hoping to get called by a king, queen, or 2 pair like queen 9. But doesn't seem like he has anything because he snap folds. I'm up over 1,000 here. I'm feeling good, but now we get into an interesting hand. I pick up ace queen in the cutoff. I open to 50. The small blind 3 bets to 210. The big blind, interestingly enough, cold calls to 210. I think this is a good time to put in a 4 bet. I make it 600 and they both call. This is turning into a huge pot and we go 3 ways to the flop. The flop is 5-6-10, 2 diamonds and 1 club, and holy smokes, the small blind decides to lead jam all in $1,100 into a pot of $1,800. The big blind quickly gets out of the way. Now, based on his stack size, small blind 100% should have just jammed pre-flop if he had a premium hand. It's possible he has a hand like maybe ace 10, diamonds, or pocket pair like 8s or 9s. At the end of the day, I only have 2 overcards, so I don't have much of a choice here except to just fold. This hand, unfortunately, wipes out over half my winnings for the day. However, I'm not sad for too long because I finally get aces in Under the Gun +1. Under the Gun opens to 40. He's got a massive stack of almost $9,000. I 3-bet to 120. The hijack and button both calls. And here, I'm praying that Under the Gun doesn't just call. I get what I'm asking for, and he puts in a 4-bet to $840. I count my stack here, I'm doing a bit of Hollywooding. I already know what I'm gonna do, and I go for it.
All in.
I go all in for $2,430. Everyone folds, Under the Gun snap calls, and we run it twice. I'm curious as to what he has. I hope it's not aces. We open our hands and he's got pocket kings of the opposite suit. So his suits are actually live. We need to fade 2 boards for the full double up. This hand will literally make or break my session. Dealer puts out a clean 6, 8, 8, 7, 8 for the first board. And the second board is even better. It comes out deuce, deuce, jack. On the flop, the turn comes a queen of spades, which puts 3 spades on the turn, so now the king of spades is no good for him. He's only got 1 out, and the river is the 7 of diamonds. We hold both boards, and with that, we are now up over $4,000. I'm feeling kinda hungry, but I thought it'd be rude to just hit and run, so I decide to play for a bit longer. Right before I'm about to leave, I get dealt pocket kings in the cutoff. Under the Gun opens to 50, I 3-bet to 200, and Big Blind thinks about it for a bit, then cold calls to 200. Under the Gun also calls, and we go to a flop 3 ways. The flop is ace queen 6, 2 hearts and 1 club. UTG checks, and I c-bet 220 here. Big Blind folds, and UTG decides he wants to come along and makes the call. The turn's 8 of diamonds, he checks, and I'm not going to take another stab at it, I'm just going to check back. The river's a queen of hearts. He checks again. There's not really a point in turning my hand into a bluff. I have some showdown equity as well, so I check back. and he turns over ace-8 of spades. Well, I didn't lose much in the hand, and I gave some money back to the table, so I think it's a good time for a dinner break now. My buddy suggested we go to a Thai restaurant right next to the poker room called Lemongrass. It was really busy there, and luckily we got a seat by the bar area. Everything on the menu looked amazing, but I eventually settled for the soft shell crab fried rice and wings. And man oh man, I could not believe how good the food was. The portions were generous, and the price was not bad at all, considering I get $1.50 on my card every hour I play poker. I'm definitely coming back to try everything else on the menu. After dinner, we decide to pull in one more session since it was only 9 o'clock. There are 3 tables running and all of them are straddling, so it's still a 5-10-20 game. We buy in for 2,500, and the first playable hand we get, King Queen of Clubs in mid position. Under the gun +1 opens for 60. I put in a 3-bet to 180. Everyone else folds, and he makes the call. We go heads up to the flop, and it comes ace-3-3, 2 spades and 1 club. He decides to donk $120. Now, donks are rare in general, especially in a 3-bet pot. He should check his entire range here, and when they do donk, I'm always scratching my head because I don't really know what to do here. I have a lot of strong aces in my range and pocket pairs. It's hard for me to put him on a 3, so I'm just gonna have to float this one and evaluate the turn. The turn comes a 4 of diamonds, which is a brick, and he checks. Like I said, I still have a lot of strong aces in my range, and if he did have a 3, I don't see him slowing down, so I decide to go for a bluff here. I bet $300. If I get called here, I plan on bluffing the river again unless a king or a queen comes on the river. Then I will check back with my showdown value. Luckily, villain folds, and we don't have to risk our stack here on the river. The next hand we're going to look at is ace-king in the cutoff, and for some reason, someone didn't want to straddle, so we're going to change the game to 10-20 instead of 5-10-20. Under the gun opens for 60, the hijack calls, and with a premium hand like ace-king, I'm definitely going to put a 3-bet out there. I make it 240, and both players call. We are going to go 3 ways to the flop, and it comes jack 10-5, 2 clubs and 1 spade. Under the gun player checks, hijack decides to lead 280. Now, since I have a gutter, backdoor flush draw, and 2 overs, I decide to make the call, and under the gun decides that he wants to come along as well. He also makes the call. This pot has already ballooned to over 1.5k, and we still need to improve ASAP. The turn is no good. It's the jack of spades pairing up the board and bringing in a second flush draw. They both check to me, and I'm more than happy to see a free river, so I check as well. The river is a really interesting card. It's the queen of clubs, giving me a straight, but it also completes the front door flush. Under the gun bets out 400, hijack quickly folds, and my hand is mostly just a bluff catcher here. The only value I can really get from is a jack, and even then, a jack doesn't always bet. I don't see any point in raising, so I just call. He turns over ace-jack of diamonds, and we're good to win a pot of over $2.2 thousand. Unfortunately, here is where we're gonna have to end the vlog. One of the floor managers approached me to tell me that I needed permission to record and told me to email the poker room manager. Now, out of respect for the poker room, I did end my vlog here and promptly emailed all the other poker rooms to ask for permission. It wouldn't be 2 days later till I actually got a reply, so for now, we're gonna have to end the vlog here. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. I actually crushed it in Vegas. I think I only had 1 or 2 losing sessions the entire time I was there, so I'm really excited to show you guys the next few vlogs. Please like, subscribe, and comment to help with the YouTube algorithm. And of course, please check out GTO Wizard. You can use my link down below in the description to get 10% off your first subscription. I'll see you guys next time.